manifest your epic life with Dr. Aixa Goodrich. Feel better. Function at optimal levels. Get rid of limiting beliefs and start manifesting your epic life. Here's your host, Dr. Aixa Goodrich.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Manifest Your Epic Life. I'm Dr. Aixa, and I have a great guest today. Her name is Kim Ades. She is the founder of Frame of Mind Coaching and Journal Engine Software. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm super happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit more about you, Kim. I want my audience to really get to know you.
Well, on a personal level, I live in Toronto. I am remarried. I have 2 kids of my own and 3 stepkids. So altogether, it's a bit of a Brady Bunch. So that's me personally. Professionally, I run a coaching company. I have a team of 8 coaches. I work internationally. I've been doing this for 11 years. I love it, and I'm happy to talk more about it whenever you're up for it.
All right, sounds good. So tell me how Frame of Mind came to be. You've been doing this for 11 years.
Yeah.
Any past history before that? Like, what made that fundamental shift for you that you said, I need to change what I'm doing?
So I used to own a software company, and it was a very thriving company, except that I ran it with 2 other partners. One of them is now my ex-husband. So life just happened, and we thought for a while we could work together, but that was the worst idea known to man. And we ended up kind of going separate ways, and I sold my shares of the company. And right after I did that, oh, by the way, the company was an assessment company. So we used to build simulation-based assessments, and the purpose of those assessments was to help companies, help executives make better hiring decisions. And so we tested all kinds of people from all walks of life. And what we discovered was that there was really one key characteristic that differentiated top performers from other people. And that was their degree of emotional resilience. And so that was a very interesting finding, because we were looking at their IQ, we were looking at their personality traits, we were looking at their skill sets, and it didn't matter what industry we were looking at or what position we were looking at. That factor, emotional resilience, always popped up as the number one determinant of tremendous success. Well, after I sold my company, I immediately got recruited by a coaching company locally. And I thought that's really cool because that completely aligns with my values. And I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not really designed to work for others. But when I went into that organization, I started to watch how coaching was done. And it just didn't sit well with me. Mm-hmm. I felt like, it was a very traditional model of coaching. It was an accountability-based model of coaching where they help people build a plan and then take small actions in order to achieve their goals. And I thought, people don't have trouble taking action. It's not that. It's not that they don't know what to do. They do know what to do, but they're not doing it. So what's up with that? There's something else at play here that has to do with their thinking and essentially their emotional resilience. And so if I could create a company that addresses that issue, I think I'd be onto something big. And that's where I started Frame of Mind Coaching.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit more about Frame of Mind Coaching. Tell me about the journaling, because I love this. This is one of the things that I talk about in my program, Manifest Your Epic Life, because it's about health and finances and career and relationships and personal growth. But most people know what to do. They're just afraid to take that step. And I feel that if they wrote it out, they would have a much better chance of achieving their actual goals. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So what we do is we coach high-level executives, entrepreneurs, innovators, people who are fairly driven. And what we do is we look at their thinking and how their thinking impacts their outcomes. And basically, I usually work with someone for a 6-month period, but the initial 10 weeks are really, really foundational. And here's what happens in the first 10 weeks. There's a call every week. Every call is recorded. And what we do is we ask our clients to listen to the recordings. And the reason we do that is we want them to start to hear how they show up, the language they use, their emotional state. We want to help them hear the stories they tell over and over again. We want them to hear their sound. And then in between every call, we ask our clients to journal in an online journal. It's a private experience between the coach and the client. And we give them at the beginning of the week a journaling question or a prompt. And every time they journal, the journal goes back to the coach who reads and responds to the journal. So that's happening every single day for 10 weeks. Okay. There's this really intense and intimate dialogue that's taking place between the coach and the client. And the idea is to really, really get to the source of someone's beliefs. understand their perspectives, where they're coming from, how their past experiences have influenced them, and really understand how their brain is wired and how their behaviors are a reflection of their thinking.
Right.
And so that's what we do for the first 10 weeks. And what happens is that there's a deep relationship that gets built. We're going into very personal matters at a very fast rate. And so the experience is deep personal transformation quickly because of the intensity of the program.
Got it. And what is the response during those first 10 weeks? Are people completely shocked at what they're thinking, at what they're doing, at what their beliefs are?
Well, the most amazing thing is that when somebody goes back to week 1 and sees how they started the program, and then they see how far they've come in that period of time, they are absolutely stunned at who they were. Stunned.
So what happens during that transformation? Is it, because after the 10 weeks, then there's some additional coaching, but what's like the most fundamental shift that happens during those first 10 weeks, aside from obviously seeing their past behaviors and thoughts and actions?
Well, the most fundamental behavior, the most fundamental shift is they take responsibility for their thinking. And so before everything in the world is happening to them, by the time the 10 weeks is over, they are making the world happen for them. And so it's a complete transformation. Their level of peace has increased. Their calmness has increased. Their stress levels are down. Their blood pressure is down. Their happiness is increased. I mean, almost every single time we coach someone, people approach them and say, "You look different. Did you get a haircut?" Like they look different. They walk differently. Their energy is different. And then they start achieving their goals. So all of a sudden their sales increase, or they hire the right people, or they take more time off, or the sex is better with their husband. Whatever it is, things are just better. They have a better life.
Yeah, everything starts to change when you start to change your thoughts. Right?
Everything changes. They get promotions. They lose weight. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. I see that also in my practice I'm a physician certified functional medicine practitioner and chiropractor, and then I started the Manifest Your Epic Life program because I see how everything is interrelated. When you shift one thing, everything else starts to fall into place, and it really starts with your thoughts and your behaviors. It's just amazing.
100%. That's exactly where it all starts. And a lot of people try to start from a different angle. A lot of people I call it, they try to wag the dog's tail by taking the tail and shaking it. And so they try to take massive action without getting their thoughts aligned first. And that's futile. It's hard work. It doesn't get you very far. Or if it does, it's not very sustainable. So, action follows thought. Start with your thoughts.
Right. Absolutely. I completely agree 100%. So who is your ideal client? Tell me, aside from maybe business people, but
an ideal client, it's more of a character as opposed to an industry. So I coach the highly driven population who typically has 4 things in common. Number 1 is that they have big goals that they want to achieve. Number 2 is that they're really great people who want to make a massive difference in the world. They want to engage in philanthropy, building homes for humanity, things like that. Number 3 is that they're big livers. In other words, they are what we call spirited people who really want to milk life. They want to travel. They want great relationships. They want to write books. They want to read as much as they can. They want to be in great shape. They just want a lot out of life. They want the luxuries. They just really want to experience as much as life has to offer. And number 4 is they tend to come into the same problems over and over again, sometimes clothed in different outfits, but they tend to get in their own ways.
Yeah, that's definitely it. So do you start with what their values are to determine what it is that they...
No, I don't. And I'll tell you why, because I think that people don't know what their values are up front. They are completely mixed up and interwoven with other people's ideologies. So I don't start there. I start by looking at what I call a baseline and understanding how they think about everything on a day-to-day basis in terms of what happens to them, their relationships, their challenges, their struggles. And I just want to establish a baseline because that baseline helps me understand their beliefs. It helps me access how they see the world and how they feel about their effectiveness and value in the world. So I start there.
Okay. So what happens after the 10 weeks? What's the shift?
Then I get into values because then those values are much more pure.
Got it. So you're getting to the root core, the core. Getting to that core.
Exactly.
I was looking through your website and I saw the zucchini story. Do you want to share that story with, because I feel a lot of people are stuck in their stories, right? They have this story we all tell ourselves and we get just stuck there and we like it.
Well, I had a client who told a story about her past where her grandfather used to call her fat. A big fat seal, he would call her. And she's actually not fat at all. She's very thin and very much in shape. But that description of her deeply affected her. And I said to her, you know, just because he said that you were a big fat seal, did it make it true? I could call you a zucchini. Does that make it true? Right? And she said, no. I said, so why are you taking it on?
Mm-hmm.
And so very often we espouse or we inherit the ideas that other people have for us. And we wear them like, you know, that's who we are. That defines us.
Right. We find that identity and we stick to it.
Exactly.
Okay. So how do you find time with, you know, 5 kids and a husband and you're running a business to take care of you? What do you do to take care of you?
Well, I journal daily. And what I find the best thing is just to be present. So in other words, when I'm here on this call with you, I'm totally focused. There's nothing else going on. There's not a phone on the side. There's nothing else going on. When I'm with my kids, it's the same thing. There's nothing else going on. And so I just try to be where I am, and that's the best way to take care of me, because then I can focus, I can engage, I can give my energy to what I'm doing, and I can enjoy my life. And I think to me that's the biggest element to my self-care.
Perfect. I love that. I think being present is something that we don't usually do because we have so many distractions, and I feel that that is one of the key components to being truly successful. Because when you give somebody your personal attention, that means more than giving them a big fancy gift or anything else, right? And sometimes we struggle with that. I know that I've struggled with that in the past in terms of I have so many things that I have to juggle, so how do we keep it all together? And when I found, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dr. DeMartini, but he said being present is the biggest gift you can give anyone. Your time, your presence, your attention. And so finding that balance. So now when I do certain things, whether I'm with you or whether I'm with my kids or whether I'm exercising, I'm just doing that. I'm not distracted with anything else. Do you feel that inhibits people from reaching maximum success? They're too distracted with other things.
I do. I also think that the biggest distractor is that by and large people have a set of beliefs about what they should be doing at what time. And so they have these self-imposed, let's call it pressures, that they put on themselves, and are spending a whole lot of time trying to fill other people's expectations. And that causes the distraction. And I think by and large, it's that single belief that they should be doing something else, they should be performing more, they should be more talented, they should be thinner, they should be working harder, they should be working less, whatever it is, but they should be something other than they are.
Yeah, we're constantly shitting all over ourselves, right? I heard that from somebody. That's so funny. All right, so tell me, or tell the audience anything else that you want to express to everyone listening.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening, I think that if you want to make some significant progress in your life, the number one most important thing that you can do to make that progress is start to pay attention to how your thinking is impacting your results. And, you know, again, a lot of people start by taking massive action, and that couldn't be the biggest, like that's the biggest mistake you could ever take. And so what I recommend is journaling is a huge way for you to become aware of your thinking. And for those of you who are interested, can I give them an assignment? How's that?
Absolutely, I love that.
Okay.
I'll do it myself.
Okay, great. So it's a journaling assignment, and I'll tell you what, if you do it, because I've had this experience before, I give the assignment and very few people take me up, but here it is, do this assignment. So it's 3 journaling questions. So journaling question number 1 is, what is it that you really, really want? And why do I have 2 reallys? Because I want you to think about what you want as opposed to anybody else. So don't think about what you're supposed to want. Think about what you do really, really want. Number 2 is, why do you want that thing? And would it be okay if you never had it? Like, could you be at peace? And number 3 is, what's preventing you from having that thing right now? And so if you do this assignment, send it to me, and I will assign you one of my coaches, a certified coach, who will review it with you. Send it to me at kim@frameofmindcoaching.com.
Awesome. Wow. I didn't expect that. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
If, you know why? Because very few people will actually take me up on it. Because people think they want to change, they say they want to change, but when it comes down to it, they're afraid. So
I think fear is what paralyzes most people. What if I get it, or what if I don't get it? You know, but I think more of what if I do get it? Like what happens then? What if I'm not able to step up to that level, or what have you? So I know that's frozen me in the past, not anymore, but it has in the past, and being able to recognize that is huge.
Well, one of the things that I find is that people are willing to spend a lot of money, a lot of their finances on material goods, but they're not really willing to spend a whole lot of their investment dollars on getting to know themselves. You spend your whole entire life with you. You may change homes, you may change cars, you may change spouses, you may change, locations, you may change jobs, you may change a million things. You never change you. Like, you're stuck with yourself your whole life. So you might as well really get to know yourself and understand how to make yourself work to the best of your ability.
Yeah, and if you want to be your best self, you have to start with you. I tell my patients all the time, you have to start with your health. Health comes number one. If you're not healthy, then you can't really achieve anything else. You can't really give 100% to anything else.
Exactly.
Whether it's your relationships, your kids, your career, whatever. So taking care of you first, health-wise, and then definitely the mind is so powerful. I love it. All right, so tell us your website again. Let me ask you a question. The journal engine, is that only for your clients, or can people just?
No, so journal. So there's two things. So Journal Engine is a product right now that other coaches, speakers, trainers, membership groups, companies will use to work with a team of people or individuals that they're interested in moving along in personal development. So it's a product that can be customized and branded to whoever it is that license it out. So journalengine.com, there's a free 2-week trial. It's a piece of software that allows you to journal with someone in a private and safe environment and deliver content on an as-needed basis. So that's Journal Engine. But for whoever's interested in just journaling, go to framemindcoaching.com, and there's a program called FOM, Frame of Mind Essentials, and that allows you to just journal every single day, and you're going to be receiving a journaling prompt once every 3 days, and you will be able to submit your journals to a coach for review twice a month. So that's just for the average person who wants to be in a journaling program without necessarily getting one-on-one, more intense, really going deep coaching.
Okay, got it. That's awesome. So give us it's framemindmind.com.
Framemindcoaching.com.
All right.
Yeah.
Leave us with one of your most amazing stories of one of your clients.
So I'll leave you with a recent story, because I have so many clients that I've worked with over the years, but I'm working with one right now, and the journey has been so incredible, and we're only on week 9. And so I'm so excited. So when he started, he was a self-proclaimed rager. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, well, I get mad and I break things and I throw things and, I yell and I storm and I stomp. I never hurt anybody, but, I'm a rager. And, okay, so at first I was actually a little nervous about it. I'm like, well, what if he yells at me, right?
I'm sure you can take care of yourself.
I'm pretty tough, especially on the phone far away. But when we started to coach, it turns out that he had 2 children, and one of his ways of quote unquote disciplining his children was by spanking them. So, there's a part for me that a personal element comes into play where I say, there are different ways of handling your children without needing to spank them. And slowly, what I started to do with him in terms of coaching is really help him understand what he wanted for his children. And he wanted them to be independent. He wanted them to be great decision makers. He wanted them to be kind people. He wanted them to be gentle with one another. He wanted them to be self-sufficient. He wanted them to be confident. And what he noticed was every time he engaged with his children, he was jumping in and making decisions for them and managing them by spanking them. And so, he wasn't showing kindness. He wasn't showing gentleness. He was demonstrating a lot of behaviors that he actually didn't want for his children. And so in 9 weeks, that completely turned around. He became the calm, peaceful anchor in his home, and he's completely changing the dynamic of his home. So he went from being a rager to being like completely calm and zen, I don't know, zenful, that's not a word, it's a word now, in his environment. And for me, like, that's a great success story because he's an entrepreneur, he's a great businessman, he's doing well, he's earning a great living, all of that side is fine. But when you start to have a ripple effect in his personal life, now we're having an effect on the world.
Right, definitely. Because those kids are going to grow up to learn those behaviors.
Exactly. And now, even his daughter notices that she gets angry sometimes, and she tells her father, hey, I have an anger problem. I want to be able to manage that. Like a 10-year-old kid.
Wow.
So those for me are massive changes that happen very, very fast.
Right. And that truly has a true fundamental change in the world, because the finances, like you said, that can come and go. The house can come and go, but when now you're having an impact on a child that's going to have an impact on future generations. That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much for that. So folks, in order for you to manifest your epic life, you definitely need to change your frame of mind, and so that's where Kim Ades comes in. So go to frameofmindcoaching.com, check out her information, and do the exercise. She's giving you a great opportunity right now to go and journal. Send it to her at Kim Ades at
KimAdes@frameofmindcoaching.com or Kim@frameofmindcoaching.com. Either one works.
Perfect. And the 3 questions are: what do you really want? What do you really want? Why? And what would happen if you did not get that? And what's preventing you from getting it? Is that correct?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. So let's start manifesting. And let's first start with the thought process. Thoughts become things. We need to choose the good ones, as my good friend from Tut says all the time. All right, Kim, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you, your knowledge, your experiences, and all that you're doing for the world to change it to be a better place. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was wonderful meeting you too.
Thank you. All right, we'll chat soon.
Thanks for listening. This is Manifest Your Epic Life with Dr. Aixa Goodrich.
Need more?
Visit manifestyourepiclife.com for blog posts, previous episodes, podcasts, and more. Now, go have an epic day.